I was saying.
Baja Blast.
You harmonize that shit.
Okay, ready?
Baja
Blast.
That's the soundbite for that.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Hey.
Are we still doing that? I didn't know we were still gonna do that.
Okay,
Anyways,
he says do again.
hey guys, welcome back. No,
I thought we were letting you do
Okay,
it.
we got it. Okay, redo.
Are you doing it or not?
Yes.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey.
This is the Lord Far Squad Pod. I'm Mandy.
I'm Miguel.
I'm Barbie.
And if you were wondering, which I'm sure you were, what the fuck is our podcast name? Who wants to talk about it?
I'll talk about it because you know what? It's because of me, and I deserve all the credit. But we've had a group chat ever since we were wee children, and it's called the Lord Far Squad.
It's just Lord Far Squad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're like Lord Far Squad. We just thought it was funny, you know, like Lord Farquaad, but then like as a squad, like I'm just like a word genius like that. Like
she's a wordsmith.
Some may say I'm a lyricist. I don't know.
And we were what, like
It was
probably
whenever
like 11 or 12? when
No,
we-
it had to be when we got our
had
first iPhones.
which was later.
We all had the iPhone 5C.
I got
We
mine
did.
like my sophomore year of high
I had the
school.
pink one. What color did you have?
I think mine was blue.
What did you have?
I had the white one.
Oh, ew.
The 5C.
Oh,
Ew.
I guess because none of the other colors were very attractive.
Like yellow was cute, I think.
yellow. Thank you.
Yeah, like you should have gone with yellow.
No, I think it was
Like I would
fine.
start telling people that I got the yellow. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell people I got the white.
Like when
But
we
what year was that? Because I think that was my sophomore year of high school.
really? That makes sense because I got my first phone when freshman year, but it was
Me
like
too, and mine was a slidey phone.
yeah, the slidey phone.
we had the slide. No, I got mine
Why are you
8th
saying
grade.
that accent?
What do you mean? Are you making fun of my
the
accent?
slidey phone.
You're making fun of my accent. Like it comes out, you know? It comes out. The true Ew! Are you part horse?
Anyways, that's where the
I'm Latina,
podcast
guys.
names come from. So thanks for joining us on the
Yeah,
Lord
Lord
Far
Far
Squad
Squad, our group
pod.
chat.
You are now a part of the group chat.
You're not part of the group chat. Yeah. Wait, maybe that's the tagline of the podcast.
Mm.
You're not part of the group chat.
By the way, guys, Miguel has a tooth gem on him right now, and it's giving pirate.
It's literally blinding me.
It's not giving what he thinks it's giving, and
That
it's
is
like
so
blinding me right now. Like
mean.
every time he smiles, I'm like ah. But you know,
Or no, her name was actually who put it on me. Yeah, her name was.
we love that.
That's so mean. Why would you say that?
I'm sorry.
She's just trying to break the ice.
I know.
Well, you broke my heart
Aw.
more than you broke the ice.
That wouldn't be the first time.
Well, anyways, let's get into this episode, this topic. I know it's getting kind of steamy. We're gonna be talking about romance and,
Or lack thereof.
and lack thereof.
Barbie.
Okay. Hold on. So let's get into it. Who wants to start? Like, how are we feeling?
Well, what are we talking about?
I feel like just in general, like where we are as far as like relationships, sexuality.
Let's start at the beginning. So many years ago, Barbie could not find love.
Okay, wait.
We're starting with that.
Oh, we're starting with me. Oh, okay. No, that's true. I think like okay, if we're gonna start. Me personally, I tried really hard, guys. I was that kind of person. Like I was very annoying. I think like whenever I had a crush, I was like, all right, I'll tell them. I was never the kind of person that I was like, let me just hold it in and be like quiet and like mysterious. Like I was always gonna be like, let me do something above and beyond for them to get attention. But I feel like that just like I always befriended them, which is stupid because then they're like, oh, you're my friend. Oh, so I don't know why I did that.
So you were like upfront about it, like, "Hey, I have a crush on you."
Yes, like,
that's a good thing, though.
it's
But
not,
it's
though.
only a good thing now. When you're in high school, that's like the opposite.
It's
way.
like it's not though because if
no,
you just feel
I
like
respect you for that.
no, but like the pain and the embarrassment I've gotten, like you guys don't get it. Like I literally got rejected my whole life. Like boys would just be like, nothing, no, it's okay, no, like they always like pity me and be like, oh, like I just see you as a friend or this and that, and I'm like, why do I open my mouth? Like what? And I'm telling you, like I was the kind of person that was like proactive. I was like, I can woo these men with. Oh, I was like, with what audacity? I don't know where I was getting it from. Like I said, like mental health, where was it? And I really thought I could also pull. So like I remember I had a crush on this dude at the gym, and I worked at the pizza shop right next to it. So I would bring him free pizzas. That bitch did not like me back, but he loved the free pizzas. He's like, oh,
Damn, and I
thank
do it
you.
too.
He'd be like, thank
I
you
eat
so
that pizza
much.
too.
He'd give me a hug, and I'd be like, hee. Like, and he, He didn't like me.
Where is he now? Do we know?
No, I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, so many times where I would go above and beyond for guys that I liked, and they were just like, they were eating up the benefits. That is the most embarrassing.
EBT, electronic.
I was literally EBT.
She was EBT. Swiping
You were
left and
just
right.
providing free.
Yeah, and that is usually food. I was like trying to Pavlov them. I was
But
like, when they
feel
see me, they're like,
that
I wanted them to do, but it was not working. And like that, I feel like to this day, like I think back to like all the crushes that I've had. I'm like, that is so embarrassing. So yeah, I don't know. I just didn't have success in love.
Yeah, and I feel like of all of us, you were the one who wanted it the most.
Yeah,
She wanted,
Yeah,
you
but-
bitches were so ungrateful sometimes. You're like, I don't want a relationship right now. I'm like, ah.
no,
Yeah,
Barbie
but like,
was
look at where you are now.
yeah.
That's true. And you know what's so funny? Because people would always be like, oh my God, Barbie, you don't have a boyfriend, but just like hold on because the first boy that you meet, like that actually is gonna like you, like he's gonna be the one. And I'd be like, how the fuck do you know that? Like he could literally just be just as bad as any other guy.
That
like,
was my deepest fear.
yeah. Like I date
Like-
somebody and they end up being like a complete
Yeah, I was like,
asshole.
this bitch is crying alone. Imagine she dates somebody who sucks.
Dude,
too.
like when I would cry over guys, I felt like I was dying. Like generally, like, I would fall to the ground. Like
she would.
She's
my
just like
chest
me,
would
dude.
hurt, dude. Like it was embarrassing.
Me
I don't
today.
know. I'm a lover. What can I say? Like,
Dude.
they didn't let me back, but that's okay. I was just, it was hard. But yeah, no, luckily now I have a boyfriend. He's really, really like a good person. We have a really good relationship, very healthy. And
No,
like,
I
am
genuinely,
shocked.
he is like, again, just envious. Not
Thank you.
envious. I look up to
Okay,
him.
just say you want her boyfriend.
He has been
Cut
sending
me
me
a
questionable
pizza.
messages.
No. But what I'm saying is, I think, and I'd hope that everything that you like went through in like the past, I don't know, to me it's just like, oh, the fact that like you got it like now
hope so,
just
yeah.
makes it like so. I hope I don't know. Do you in a sense? Because I mean, can we say like this is your first boyfriend?
Yeah, you can say
You
it's
can say
true.
that.
I mean,
Like,
it's,
well, I don't
I've
know.
made it quite clear that
Like, I don't know.
I did not pull.
Did you want to come off as like a whore?
Hey guys, I'm a hoe. No.
But like this is your first boyfriend and like your first relationship, and it's you guys have been going like for what, over a year now,
Yeah, we're like a year, 8 months.
and like that's like so cool.
Impressive.
We're like smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
We had
I
to, we had
think,
to be
like-
cute in a way
Yeah.
through Tinder, but it was cute because he like pulled up in his motorcycle. Like that's so hot.
Yeah.
No, and I feel like also the meet cute is that you guys are low key neighbors.
Yeah, we are neighbors. So I was like, what? Like all along you were here, like bruh. So,
It's
like
giving Hallmark movie.
Yeah, it's been very a dream. So it's
Yeah, I think it's
That's
really cool
cute.
to see you guys. You guys just love each other so much and are just so in love with each other.
Yeah.
So if it makes
But
up
it was so
for
funny.
I
People
hope
were
it-
like, "You." No offense to my boyfriend, I love you so much, but they're like, "You're gonna meet somebody. It's gonna make all the pain worth it." I'll be honest. I feel like I didn't need to go through that pain.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like,
uh,
on God, like she could have had another. I think
look.
I would have preferred it.
Yeah,
I would have
was
heard
like,
less crying.
oh my
So
god,
I don't think it made all the
crying.
pain that I went through like less painful. Like no offense, I'm not like oh my god worth. I'm like more like why weren't you here earlier? Like so yeah,
Everything
that's
in
where
due
I'm at
time.
now.
Everything in due time.
That's true.
It was due time.
It was getting like down there. I don't know. It was
Whoa.
getting
Damn.
a little
Like a cave, like just dry.
yeah, like a little hot.
Deserted.
You can hear like little
bats.
drops. Like
Just like
I don't like
oxygen.
But now you're the only one with a consistent lover. So
Yeah, so congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats. You won.
Congrats, bitch.
You win.
I mean, who was also? Oh, you were in a relationship.
I was in a-
until
I was in a long relationship for 2 years. A bit too long than it should have been. That was my first like serious relationship as well in college. Besides, I had like high school relationships. And those
Do you
like
count high school relationships as
the amount I cried, yeah.
that's fair.
And also like I was still crying about that relationship in college too. Like when I first started college, so
Yeah,
I'm like
that's true.
that haunted me.
Yeah.
So like no, I do count it, but like definitely my first love was in college, and I'm very grateful for that relationship. I learned a lot about myself, and I mean we kind of talked about last episode our mental health and like getting over eating disorders, and I know definitely being with that person really helped me with those things.
Why we say that?
Because I guess I remember one thing they said to me. I was like crying because they said something about me being like thick or something about me being like I think it was thick or something.
Like thick physically or like in terms of like mental capacity?
I know you know what I mean.
Because I would just say that you have a very
Sharp mind.
sharp
a skinny
mind.
mind.
Yeah.
My mind is very thin.
Thickest mind.
No, and I remember them saying something about like, oh yeah, I like bigger girls or something like that, and I wept. I on the floor wept, and he was obviously like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? And at that moment I was like dang, why did that make me like lose my shit? And he looked at me, he's like, this just lets me know that you grew up around white people who have white standards for like what beauty is. And he's like, never have I looked at a skinny girl and wanted to rattle her bones. And I said, oh my God.
Wow.
And
Wait, so in a way, were you taking his side? Like, were you seeing where he was coming from?
and that really like shook my mind. Like it
Because
flipped
even now,
almost
I'm
a
still
switch.
not on his side. Like, I still don't agree
No,
with his.
I don't think he should have said that to me. But like it did flip a switch where I'm like, there isn't one standard of beauty.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
And not that
yeah,
I'm
but
not
I just
like,
don't think you should talk about women that way.
Oh, come on. The things that Miguel has
please.
just to me in general is concerning to feminism.
No, and whether or not he was right, that mindset did help me change the way I thought, you know, like that we don't need to just value skinniness or anything. But that's one thing that I did really learn in that relationship. But also like just learning what I'm looking for in somebody and like why things didn't end up working with us. It had nothing to do with like anybody being like a bad partner or anything like that. It was all just like who we are. And that's one thing that I growing up in religion, like we've talked about before. I was always taught that like love can conquer all. And so like we were very different. We had very different.
Bullshit.
Hey.
And no, that's what I came to find, because like we were very different people. We saw the world differently. We wanted different things, and we were just not going the same place. And I remember just thinking, I'm like, oh, and that's okay because we love each other.
That's fair.
But eventually, because of those like differences, it ended like pretty bitter, I guess. Like both of us feeling bitter because it's like we're both working towards different things and really not understanding each other, you know? And so like that's one thing that I guess got out of that relationship, and also that I'm queer. Also that I like the girls.
Also,
I like girls. So I think that was I would say like I've had good relationships that I've taken good things away from. People in my life have been beneficial, and that kind of goes back to what I've said before about like not having regrets. And that like every person I've met and every experience I've had, even when I've made mistakes and like fuck shit up, which I have, it's always like I taking away that I did that because of not knowing what I know now. And so like I'm not going to do those same things or be with those same people because of what I've learned out of those experiences. And that I think has been what I'm like going forward in and looking for relationships. And bitches don't like me, so also that.
Also, shameless plug, Mandy is single, ready to mingle
Please hit me
with
up.
some femmes.
She said, please hit me
If you're a
up.
femme, hit me up. I don't know what's going on, but the femmes don't like me.
What is it, femme?
It's because of the bob.
Is it my bob? Is it my bob? Comment below.
Because your bob, is it a little shorter than you normally would have a bob? Because you just got to cut again, right?
You don't like my hair?
I love your hair.
He doesn't.
I do love I love the bob. I think
It's very
I've
French.
had my bob many different lengths, and the bitches have not liked.
no, but what I'm
still
saying
don't
is
hit me
I
up.
think that is like your hairdo. Like I think it fits your face very
Yeah,
nicely.
it also
you.
it really just it gives you the X factor.
I do think it lets people know that bitch is gay.
I mean, what about you? Like Miguel?
Me?
Yeah,
Me?
yeah.
Me? Yeah, I just think like dating has been really interesting. In high school, I was mostly dating, not mostly, I was literally just dating girls. And to me, it's like, it's high school. So the school that I
was
went
private
to,
school.
it was a private school.
Yeah.
So you would call it like we would call it like, it was a Glendale thing. I don't know.
What?
It was really
What
weird.
does that mean?
I don't even know. You just kind of went with it.
What? Wait, that's so crazy.
What are you
It was like a
talking about?
Glendale thing.
A relationship
What
is
was?
called a Glendale thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you wouldn't say like relationship. You would say, oh, it's a Glendale thing.
Okay, that's weird.
Okay.
Unless I just use that for me. No, I'm just kidding. but I think I had this, not like moment. It was definitely over the course of like a year and a half with this boy in high school. And I think it really altered the way that I thought about sexuality. And honestly, to me, I never saw that being gay was like a bad thing. Like in middle school, I remember when I first started going to this academy, my mom and I were like back to school shopping, right? We were getting supplies. And I remember it was like the day before our first day. And we were like walking through backpacks and I needed a new backpack. And there was like a SpongeBob backpack. And like jokingly, I like told my mom like, oh, I want this backpack. And she's like, you wouldn't. And I feel like my mom and I are like the same in that regard, where it's like, oh, bet. Like, you don't think I'll do this? Like, I will. And so I made her buy me that backpack because I wanted to prove like you don't know me. Yeah, you don't know me. And then when I show up to my first day of 7th grade at this public school, private school, I have this like SpongeBob backpack, and everybody's like, dude, what the fuck are you wearing? Like, yeah, no, it was definitely kind of like that. And, you know, people would call you like, oh, like, dude, you're so gay, or like the F slur and like all these like mean things. And I never like saw it. I knew they meant it negatively. But
you're like, yeah.
He's like, period.
And what about it?
No, but not even that. I just thought that that's how sad they were with their lives. Like that they would even... I don't know. Maybe I've also never just had shame.
And your third eye was like always open.
No, not even that. Not that. But I think it was just more so like I never saw shame around that. And so when it came time to, I just never saw like liking a boy as a bad thing. It's just, there was a time when I definitely thought that I wasn't. Like people would be like, oh, are you gay? And I just, no. But you know?
Me.
And, but what I think is really interesting to me even now is, without like going into everything because I just don't think it's worth it, there definitely was like an altering of my own perspective that I had to do, not like physically, but like in my mind. I had to be like, oh, you know, this person is showing you like love, and this person is, you know, is obviously, you know, doing things, and whether it was physical affection or like emotional, you know, affection or whatever it was. Not that I had to convince myself that like,
and this was with the boy, right?
This is with the boy. But it definitely was like, I had to convince myself in a way, because in my head, I already knew like, you know, this isn't wrong, but just allow yourself. And so I did that, and I like Barbie. Over like at the time I was like a junior, like late into the year, and I let it go on for like another year going into my senior year. And kind of like Barbie, I've never been the kind of person to not say something. Like if I have a crush on you, like you're gonna know. Like you will know. And so when it came time, like at the end of that year, I told him like, hey, I don't know what we've been doing this past year, but there's been a lot of like physical affection, tension, and to the point where I think it's so funny. I could pull up my yearbook, and people who sign my yearbook will like reference things that we did.
Oh, wow.
And I look back at that because I'm like, okay, I know I wasn't crazy. Like I know this definitely was a thing. Like I didn't like buy into this fantasy. Things were done. But when it finally came time to, when I told him, I think it was just definitely he was on his own journey as well. Or maybe he was just scared or whatever it was. But when that happened, it was like a complete like break from the friendship and everything that we were doing. And I think that is like what launched me into like turmoil for like years to come. And so now I guess that's just, so ever since I didn't date in college because I just didn't, I think I was dealing with this sort of like recovering from it and kind of realizing where my place was in the world. And then coming out of college now, like I do date, and I mean, you guys like, no, but like, it's funny. Like I put myself in these situations because I do it for the plot, but
we wish you wouldn't.
Yeah. Honestly, I put myself in some pretty sticky situations. Both figuratively and literally.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Okay, we're gonna cut that. But no, I don't want to say that like, oh, like
Ew.
No, I don't want to say like, oh, like
what
my
kind
life
of podcast is this?
No, I don't want to say like, oh, like my life is miserable, like nobody loves me or whatever. I've had very, very cool experiences with people that I do love.
Yeah.
And I think like Mandy as well, I am also going through these things where I'm learning what I like and what I don't like. And yeah, I don't know. It's just, it is a hard thing. It is a hard thing even. And I think with me, I think I kind of struggle with like it feels like it should be so easy. Like you like me, I like you. Let's make it work. But I think it's that part, like the let's make it work, that some people just aren't willing to do. And on my end too, like there's just sometimes where I'm like, I can't.
That kind of comes into like the next thing I wanted to talk about is like where we kind of got our ideas of romance and like how did we, like what are our first ideas of romance? Like what are we basing what we're looking for off of, I guess?
I think growing up, especially being conservative Christian at the time, was like me, for example. It's like, don't even think about boys until you're like older. You can't have sex till you're married. So don't even think about having sex. And then the man has to be like the spiritual leader of the household, which is bullshit. And so it's like all this very like patriarchal type of mindset, I think, that I grew up with. So that even like when I was in college, while I was still deconstructing like religion, I'd still think like, oh, would he be a good like husband and father? Like, I don't even want kids.
You don't want kids?
Huh?
You don't want kids?
Girl.
Wow, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I have never liked them. I don't.
Have you seen Barbie ever, like,
I do
hold
not
a
have
child?
like.
Yeah, but I think I'm the same way too, but I'd love my own kids.
I just don't think I would. I'm just kidding. No, I this is a whole other discussion. It's not that I don't think I like my own kids, but I definitely think I need to mature a lot more because I don't like kids, and I never have. Even when I was like younger, like 11 years old, I was like, I'm just grossed out by like kids. My older sister was always the kind of person that was like, oh, I'll change the diaper of this baby, did it? And I was always like, ugh, like get that away from me. And I'm like very annoyed by like the aesthetic of plastic toys. Like it's a sensory thing. I'm just like, visually, it's disgusting. I don't want that in my house. Okay, so like, there's just so many reasons for me not to be. I'm not the ideal candidate. You know, I hope that if I do have a child, I'm a great mother.
She's gonna be a beige mom.
I don't want to be a beige mom. So there's these millennials these days that like they want to keep their aesthetic so bad of their beige house. You know, like the minimalist.
Oh, like Kim Kardashian.
And so like their kids, all their toys are like wooden and beige,
and they can only wear like beige clothes.
So it keeps the aesthetic for their Instagram. And I think it's so funny. It's cruel. I would never do that. Therefore, I will not have a kid because I'm trying to have an aesthetic house. Anyways, back to me and not them kids. What was I saying? Oh, the patriarchal like
where your ideas of
mindset
romance.
and just not being able to, the shame around like sexuality. Even if I am straight, which is an if. Right? It's an if because I think like I feel so delayed in like discovering my own sexuality because it was repressed for so long because they were like, don't even think about it. Even if you have a boyfriend, don't even think about it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it wasn't until much later in life that I was like, oh, like, could I be open to, am I a little gay? Like I'm a little like, and I feel like people discovered this so much younger. Like I think it's so interesting that you like as a little kid, you were like, oh, like I'm cool with that. Me, like it wasn't even a thought in my brain. Like it was not a thought in my brain because I wasn't even allowed to think about boys that way. Like how am I supposed to think about anything, And I feel so delayed now. I feel like that's affected like a lot of things for me personally.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I've always said that because like I know a lot of people come out when they're like younger. They're always like, oh, I always knew. Like when I was in elementary school, when I was in high school, I'm like, I didn't think about that at all till like college. But that definitely a similar experience to Barbie. Like my parents were like, you can't have sex till marriage. Don't date until you're ready to get married.
Yeah.
To like college. And so I remember when I started dating in high school, like even in elementary school, I would like pretend I'm like, oh yeah, that's my crush. Cause like other people would be like, oh, that's my crush. And like, just trying to fit in. I'm like, just pick whatever bitch I see first. I'm like, okay, that's my crush. Some bitch named Brandon had to be my crush for a couple of years.
Where is he now?
Where is he now? Let's call him up.
I don't know.
Brandon who?
Why are you dropping?
I've never heard of Brandon. You've never mentioned Brandon.
Bro, I was in like elementary school. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So this is before we knew each other.
Yeah.
This is like her lore.
My lore.
Mandy's lore.
Her lower back.
What?
Because she has back problems. Oh. Mandy has scoliosis.
And that's true.
Okay, anyways.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so like even in high school when I had my first boyfriend, I was allowed to date at 16. But
You were?
I was allowed to.
White families.
They're like, when you're 16, you can date. But all I'd ever been told is like dating is bad. And so like I viewed it as evil. Like even
Fear.
my older sisters, when they were dating, like the things my parents would say, like, oh, they're boy crazy. Oh, they're so bad. They did this, or like, or they kiss, or like they hold hand. Like even all of that was seen as like, to me in my head, I don't know what my parents were trying to convey, but to me it was like, that is evil. That is of the devil. Holding
Scary,
hands, don't
shameful,
you ever.
fearful, wrong. Yeah.
So when I got in my first relationship, even though I was allowed, I had so much anxiety. Like every single thing that I did, I was like, I'm such a bad person. I shouldn't be in this relationship. And it was also doubled because my mom worked at the school and the person I was dating at the time, their mom worked at the school. So we were under constant surveillance. So teachers would literally like come up to us and be like, leave room for the Holy Spirit. Like just shit like that. And
that
so
would
I was
make
like,
me atheist.
Shut up.
that was my final straw.
I mean, even to like, y'all know, like I didn't get my first boyfriend until much older, later in life. But even then I had a lot of shame like to deal with. I'd be like, am I doing the wrong thing? Like, you know, and I don't even like prescribe to like all the things that I grew up with anymore. Like I'm not even Adventist. Like, we grew up like Seventh-day Adventist, you know, which is the denomination of Christianity that
I
we
just want to
were.
know that you said prescribe to all of this.
Did I say prescribe?
Yeah, I think it's subscribe.
I don't think it's subscribe.
You said prescribe.
Prescribe. That's the
I
wrong
don't even prescribe
word.
to all of this.
Yeah, what is it? It's not subscribe though.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to. Yeah, like if you like, there's certain
It's like
things
a YouTube
about
channel,
Seventh-day
like
Adventism
Seventh-day-
that I don't subscribe to.
Okay, my bad.
Like
It's
and
late at
subscribe.
night.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
eepy.
I just
Like,
thought it was funny. We'll cut it.
okay. Anyways, I still feel bad.
And that's something that we talked about a lot, like dissociating. And that was like a big thing in all my relationships that I've had. Every single relationship I've ever been in, there was so much dissociation, where it's just like I'd be having a good old time, and then all of a sudden I'm not there. And that would always make me feel so guilty, like, oh, like I'm not supposed to be in this relationship, or maybe this is the wrong person. And I had to like come to later that like, damn, it's just like shame and anxiety. And having to differentiate shame and anxiety versus like when you grow up in a religion and you're taught that that's your subconscious, that's the Holy Spirit telling you you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And so like whenever I would feel like these terrible feelings, and like I've had like depression since I was like 12 years old. And so like my mom used to tell me that feeling, I would tell her like, oh, I feel guilty for something, but I don't know what I did. She'd tell me, she's like, that's the Holy Spirit convicting your heart. And
Of
for
what?
so long, I remember I'm like, damn, I'm just like a shitty person. Like I'm like, damn, like I'm just awful, I guess, because I feel guilty every damn day. And then in college, I kind of like was able to separate the idea of like shame versus guilt. And I was like, damn, if God's way of communicating with us is through making me feel like the worst person ever, fuck that bitch, because like that sucks.
Yeah.
And I guess like working through it now, I'm like, I realize that's not how I view God. And I can definitely see that that's a lot more work of whatever evil force is out there causing us shame. But that definitely affected my relationships. And I think it still affects it sometimes. And I have to like, whenever I feel myself like dissociating relationship, I'm like, okay, like what's going on? Like what religious trauma are you suppressing right now?
Yeah.
I wonder because if it has to do anything, like, at least in regards to like your parents and how they influence your relationships and stuff like that, because you guys come from a very big family that's mostly women, right? Like Mandy, you're all of your siblings are
I have
girls.
3 sisters and a mother.
Yeah,
girls.
I'm like, poor.
Okay,
Why are you
that
not? Why
that
are you
was
dropping-
very patriarchal. What's wrong with being surrounded by
Well,
women?
I'm just saying when I go over to the house, it's me and like we're the bros.
You do not talk to my dad.
He bullies you. You guys are not the bros.
We are the bros.
You always leave and you're like, your dad made me cry.
That's not true. That's not true.
You better not be listening to this podcast.
See you on football night.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Miguel likes to act like he knows anything about football.
I do. I've gone to 3 games. Thank you.
Who was playing?
It was the Seahawks and the Rams.
Okay.
He just pulled that out
Yeah,
of his ass.
bitch. No, I didn't.
Those are real teams.
And Barbie, you also come from a family that's like mostly women too, right?
Yes.
You have 2 brothers.
Yes.
And how many sisters? 3
2.
sisters.
I'm the third sister.
She's the third.
Well,
I'm the
there's
middle.
3 of you.
Yeah, it's not like I think it's equal. It's pretty even, Steven.
But I think it's interesting because the way that you guys are talking about how your parents influence you, I think like my parents didn't influence me at all.
You're right because you're a man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Man,
the connection.
I think it is.
You remember that?
I don't know
catch.
what
Good
it
catch.
is. Like what it is, but my mom gave birth to 4 boys. Like it's only
Bless
been
her soul.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like she really wanted a daughter, and
Well,
and now I think it's more so. Like looking back, and I remember like growing up, I would tell my mom like, because they would say no. My dad didn't really say anything at all actually. My mom would be like, no, you can't have a girlfriend, because I would always ask, like, can I have a girlfriend? Can I have a girlfriend?
oh, he was desperate.
I was desperate. I was desperate for her opinion. But I would always ask her like, can I have a girlfriend? She would say no. So I think that's why now I'm dating boys. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn, she'd be so mad if she hears that.
Funny.
No, I'm kidding.
I'll take matters into my own hands.
But I think when it came to like relationships, I mean, I don't know. I've never gone to my parents for like relationship advice. What I do think, and what I'm learning is sometimes I feel like I have very high standards, or maybe I have this like pipe dream of what I want my relationship to look like because of what my parents' relationship was like. Like they've known each other and have only been with each other as far as I know, as far as they've told me. But what it is, they've only known each other like since like middle school.
That's crazy.
Like middle school, and then going to high school together, and then getting married, and then doing all that. Like they've only ever known each other. And to me, like if you're not trying to be like that, then like GTFO, you know what I mean? But I guess I'm already 25, so I'm like years behind.
Yeah, you're a little behind on that.
But I think in terms of relationships and like the
You need a ride
struggles
or
of
die.
it, I do need a ride or die, but I think I have that. And his name is Jesus Christ.
I was like, where's he going?
Wait. I'm so dead.
No, but I think it's. I think not having to go. I think not having anyone to go to in terms of like relationship advice causes you to have to figure it out on your own, especially when you're like not switching sexualities, but you're like exploring a new sexuality.
Yeah.
And for me, it was almost kind of like trial and error because I think it was different. At least even now, like at the time, I knew what it meant to have like a girlfriend. It just seemed very standard, very like normal. Everybody in high school had a girlfriend. Everybody was doing the thing, but as soon as it came to like a boy, it was kind of like, wait, who's the girl? You know what I mean? That was like a genuine like thing that I kind of struggled with. I was like, and like it just didn't make sense. And I think over the past couple of years, like the people that I've dated
Have been the girl.
What is it? I think it's just been a lot of trial and error. And as much as I like, one could appreciate that, right? About relationships is it is important. And it's true that, you know, when a relationship doesn't work out, like it was a lesson learned. But sometimes I wish I didn't have to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
Or there were some lessons that I just didn't need to like learn at all.
That's so
Like,
crazy.
That pain didn't need to happen. It's okay.
It didn't need to happen because I kind of knew. And I was actually trying to avoid that.
That's crazy because I do feel like the opposite. Like I feel like because my parents were so overly involved in my life and my opinions, I feel I'm like I wish I would have been able to experience this on my own because the experiences I had, I felt like were so controlled, and that's kind of how I feel like we can tell each other advice. Like I can tell Barbie like that you're gonna go home and cry because of that, but unless she does it, she's not gonna know. You know, and
almost like you have to let them go through it.
Yeah, and like I feel like I wasn't allowed to go through things, and when I tried to, I felt guilty that I was doing it.
Yeah,
and so I feel like there is obviously that balance of like, which I know parenting is hard. Like I can't imagine. I don't.
No, but
it
is true that like Miguel's a dude, so I feel like especially with like Latino families, it's like. Like they let the guys do whatever. They like go do whatever. It's fine. You're the dude. You're the man of the house. Da, da, da.
There's definitely different standards.
Yeah, they're totally different. With the women, it's like you're the girl. Like if I had a boyfriend, they're taking me. No, like they're taking me away from my family. Versus like when my brothers have a girlfriend, they're like, oh, like love that, and like they would let my brothers sleep over, do all these things. But if it's a girl that their daughter, it's like so much more like at stake. Like my virginity. Like oh my god. Like so it's a lot more involved.
Yeah.
Annoying.
No, that is crazy because I guess not the same because obviously my family's not Latinx. Even
what?
Even though
They're not Mexican.
even though they sometimes think they are.
Your mom made tamales last year.
And she'll do it again. You can't stop her.
Ethnic queen.
She can't be stopped.
She's gonna come out with a
She makes her chili.
At Thanksgiving.
She won the chili championship.
3 years running.
Did she really win a chili championship?
Bro, it was all of us judging.
Oh, I thought you meant like she actually like in the city of La Mirada.
What even is chili? Is that like
Beans?
Texan? No, I'm just saying like it's not Hispanic.
It's probably
Chili's
Tex-Mex.
white.
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
Tex-Mex or something.
It's
Well,
not
they're using our
Tex-Mex.
beans. What are they doing?
Comment below.
What are Texans doing?
I put like chili with like meatloaf
dude, casserole.
and like casserole.
What are y'all doing?
I just think they put a whole bunch of foods together and call it something.
Yeah, like the haystacks.
No, don't
That's
work for
just-
haystacks.
that's
Hey,
Adventist.
they call it
That's
walking
Adventist
taco.
lore.
No, Adventists call it haystacks, but white people call it walking tacos.
Which is crazy because I'm like, what part of this is a taco?
or walking.
So for those of you who don't know, a walking taco or a haystack is
Nachos.
It's kind of like nachos. You just get chips and then you just throw all the toppings on top.
Those bitches put olives though.
Yeah,
That's what's weird.
So it's like, tortilla chips, beans, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, da da da. So you just call it nachos. I don't know why they call it haystacks. And then if it's in a bag, like a Frito bag, they'll call it walking.
I think
tacos.
it's haystacks if you put it on Fritos, and you would call it nachos if you put it on tortilla
I think we've
chips.
lost our audience.
Sorry, anyways, back on track.
I'm just saying, why do white people put olives on Mexican food?
And I can't answer that for you.
Because
but
please answer for your crimes. Why do they do that?
Olives?
Yes.
I never liked olives.
Me neither, because they don't belong there. They don't belong on Mexican
who
food.
made olives?
The devil.
God.
The devil.
Anyways, what was I saying?
So we're coming up close. Let's talk a little bit more about this, but it seems like we have a lot more to say about this, and it'll come in future episodes. We can talk more about it.
I have a lot to say about this until I find the love of my life. Until then, I'm gonna be
okay.
complaining.
Let's do this. What is your like?
What's your dating profile like right now?
Dude, no, no. Can I answer my question?
Well, I mean,
Get it out.
What is it called? Your
What am
What
I
are your
looking for?
signs?
No. What are your
My big
signs?
three?
What are your
Oh my god.
Hold on, Richie, you're gonna
Guys,
have to
please
edit
put this
all
on
this
2
out.
times
I'm so sorry.
speed.
What are your non-negotiables?
My non-negotiables. The ones that I've learned through experience. They cannot be homophobic.
How could
that's tea.
you be queer and be homophobic?
No, but like,
no, I just mean non-negotiable in general.
well, because she's queer, but she also dates dudes. So as long as the dude's not
I have
homophobic,
in the past.
that have been homophobic. Come on.
Same to
And
me.
then what are my non-negotiable? Damn, these are good questions. Right now, the first bitch that walks my way, love.
Really?
She's in
Day-
love.
No, every day I have a new love. Every week I have a new love of the week.
Do you fall in love easily?
I didn't used to, but now I'm desperate.
You're not desperate, Mandy.
No, I think I've
God,
become
have
a
some
lot.
class.
I think I've
Jeez.
become a lot more open to people.
That's good.
But I also do feel like I'm starting from almost from scratch, like starting to date women now.
But in a sense, you are.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I still know things, but I do feel like I was never like
She knows things.
I know things. I was
me
never
hold
like
up.
boy
This
crazy.
episode is sponsored by Taco Bell.
What?
What?
The Taco
Hey, they are the
Taco Bell
only
bathroom?
white people Mexican food
Oh.
that I stand by. Okay, if we can get a Taco Bell sponsorship, I think we'd be on the up and up.
Dude, we
Like,
can't
I
even
think
get 2 listeners and you want to get a sponsorship?
One of them could be Taco Bell.
Crunchwrap Supreme,
I was saying.
Baja Blast.
You harmonize that shit. guys.
Okay, ready?
Baja
Blast.
That's a soundbite for that.
Richie's
for the
crying
intro.
right now.
Sorry, you're saying.
Oh yeah, like growing up, I was never like boy crazy or anything. Like I didn't give a fuck. And so now I do feel like kind of like a little high schooler. I do feel girl crazy. I feel kind of stupid. Any person that looks my way, I'm like, they are in love with me. They're obsessed with me.
She's just like me.
I wish I had that confidence. See that Jennifer Aniston clip where she's like, "Love your confidence."
And it's so ill-founded because a bitch has never texted me back.
Mandy.
I text her back and she does not.
Ooh.
She doesn't text me back.
Ooh.
I really wish that, like I said, when things don't work out, like it's a lesson and stuff like that. But like, I just wish that you could go through these experiences and learn these lessons, but continue to be with the same person and like having had it like work out. You know what I mean?
Not me. ditch that bitch and go.
Really?
We're clearly all in different phases.
I know. Wow.
Wait, but you just said that you're ready. You're ready for a relationship.
Oh, I am so ready.
This is not good for
Yeah,
your
this is
brand.
not working.
Please ignore that.
She's like, me?
I'm ready to learn and love.
Well, I think that's all the time that we have for this episode. We will be continuing to talk more about Barbie's mystery man.
No, we will not.
Is he gonna be a guest one day?
We should invite him. He has a lot of things to say.
No,
He's
he's
so
just talking about
smart.
stupid stuff.
Wait, what?
Huh?
What did you say?
Nothing.
I don't know what he said. Was that a dick?
I don't know. I
Was
also
it a
didn't-
dick?
Was
he
it a dick?
mumbles. He mumbles. I don't know.
You mumble.
I don't
Anyways,
mumble.
okay, that is our time for today. But thank you so much for joining us. This has been Lord Far Squad Pod. I'm your host, Barbie, at Created by Barbie on Instagram.
I'm Mandy. You can find me on Instagram or TikTok at Manda Harrison.
And I am Miguel. You can find me on Instagram at MiguelXAntonio.
Stay tuned for the next episode, Living with Two Vaginas, the dark side of Mandy's story. The Lord Far Squad Pod is hosted by Amanda Harrison, Miguel Antonio, and Barbie Chavez. Listen wherever podcasts are available. Our producer is Richard Cunningham. Our theme song is produced by Lorena Latorre. Our artwork is by Joshua Estrada. Follow the Lord Far Squad Podcast on Instagram at Lord Far Squad Pod. Feel free to send us your questions to the Lord Far Squad Podcast at gmail.com.